Hi, my LinkedIn family. This is my fourth podcast on collaborative canvas with Ankesh Saxena. Today, I have a budding entrepreneur who is someone that I've known for almost like 13 years and has a strong passion and determination to create their own business and bring their innovative ideas to life. They're constantly seeking opportunities to develop and grow their skills, and they are not afraid to take risks and face challenges. With perseverance and a strong work ethic, a budding entrepreneur can turn their dreams into a successful reality. And I have a great example for you today. I got Ankit Dhanuka, founder of Robust Research, right from Bangalore, talking to me on this very podcast. Welcome, Ankit.
Thank you, Ankesh, for having me on this podcast. And, it's pleasure connecting with you once again and speaking about the opportunities in the entrepreneurship world out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have been talking more about entrepreneurship for a longer period of time. And I think we know each other for almost like 13 years now, ever since you started. I remember back those days when we both were project manager. I can see the inspiration that you have brought on to the board. And this podcast, again, with the topic entrepreneurship, I wanted to let the audience know what exactly the entrepreneurship is and what are basic challenges an entrepreneur face during the aspirations of creating the whole world around himself. So I got about couple of questions for you, and I hope we can draw some attention for the to the people who wanted to become their own bosses, who wanted to start their own company, and this podcast would be helpful for those of them. So, welcome aboard again. And we start with knowing a bit of you first.
Sure. Thank you once again for having me, Ankesh, out there. And of course, I've been an entrepreneur for almost 12 plus years now. Started way back in 2012. It was a dream come true right now. At that moment, I really didn't know exactly what we were doing, how to start up. But over the years, over the time, we learned and we grew up out there. The main thing that attracted us, that made us start with Robust was that to tackle the ever-changing landscape of the MR industry out there. That was our goal. That was our understanding that, the MR industry is changing every minute, every time out there. Many people were comfortable with offline research earlier in those days, but there was a shift towards the online research as well. And only large to medium companies, they could afford those market research to be conducted. But there were a lot of smaller players as well, smaller manufacturing companies who wanted to do some kind of a research, some kind of a product fit assessment over there or a catchment area study. That's where we came into the picture. That's where we saw a gap that, these people also deserve that insights that they are trying to build because they are going to be the next Fortuners, the next Fortune companies out there. And that's where we started off. So having that goal is, that's the most important part of it, identifying that gap, and we need to be obsessed with the problem that we are trying to solve. And, solution is something that keeps coming on the way, but problem is something that we have to put all our minds into it and keep doing a lot of research as to which way or which path we have to take. We have to collaborate and listen with others, uh, not just with like-minded people, but also with other skill set people because they put in a lot of ideas, a lot of innovation onto the table out there. So that's where a small introduction about me of what and when we started with Robust Research.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a very good example that you mentioned about knowing other industries as well. Because I remember last year was full of robots traveling here and there across the globe and attending almost every other conference that even I have not heard of. So that looks like, you guys have a very clear vision about what you really wanted to do and how far you can actually go. And no wonder why you have been there for 3 years with as a committee member with MRSI. You got vast amount of knowledge, and I think an entrepreneur should understand what you just mentioned, that there are problems, we should come up with the solutions, and I think those solutions are the utmost necessary arm any entrepreneurship can start with. So I think that's where my first question starts, that a lot of new startup modes that you've seen working and their founders have been emerged over a period of time. it's looked like, very um, close-ended bond with their company because they exactly know what they wanted to do. And there comes, doing everything by yourself. So, the first startup when you and Satish started, you guys were doing almost everything, from project management to bidding and everything. And then eventually you started growing up your team. Did you leave that thing of, giving away the delegations to your team, or do you still micromanage with your own work? Not micromanage in the sense that your entire organization is just looking at every aspect of it. Of course, at a level you probably be looking at certain aspect, but do you think that the not leaving things behind would help you keeping everything with you and not letting everybody take their own brains out? How do you manage those expectations?
So that's a good question, Ankesh. Before I jump onto this question, that's a good thing that you mentioned about MRSI and managing committee member on 3 years. That exposure, I just want to talk about that exposure before I jump onto this question. So that exposure was something very different, being on that board, being on that committee members, interacting with so many high level other peoples out there, that opens up a lot of connections, that opens up a lot of learning and understanding that you're not just in your closed dome, you're going out of your dome out there and you're learning what's happening in the MR industry, but in different phases of life out there. There were the brand clients people in the managing committee member, there were the agency people, then the service providers out there, all of them putting across their learning, putting across something betterment, building up the market as a society. Hats off to them, putting things across over there. Now, coming on to your question, whether micromanagement or towards the delegation, when we started, as you rightly said, we were doing everything. We were the peon of the office as well as the boss of the office. So we had to handle everything out there. What I totally believe right now is that it somewhere needs to have a balance of both micromanagement as well as delegation. But you need to know where to step back. You need to have your boundaries that, yes, okay, this is the limit that I'm not going to put my hands into it. Let the team handle it out there, because your team's creativity will come out of it. The team you have chosen, it's you have done the interview, you have brought them on board. So you have to trust them, right? So trusting your team, letting them get that innovation and creativity on the table, I think that's where the delegation really takes place, because that's going to bring the magic into the company. We need to know where we have to stop it. We have to be involved. Yes, we have to have our hands in it, but that step back, that boundary has to be there. So I totally believe a balancing, like people say, life balance, work-life balance. The same
Yeah.
way it's a balancing between delegation as well as micromanagement.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's always good because once you start delegating, I think you get spare time out to think what else we can do. I mean, which is why you were all the around the globe last year, and not leaving any conference unturned. You were there, the entire team was there. So I think there was a global vision for you that, now the things are being settled with the team. I don't have to micromanage my own work. My team is looking after that, and they're giving desired results. So let's focus on other things. Yeah, indeed.
Of course,
But
of course.
you did mention about the problem areas. I wanted to understand from you then when you started Robust, what was that first problem that you identified? That now let's start Robust and solve this problem as an entrepreneur.
Okay, so the first problem that we identified, like I told earlier also, it was the ever-changing, landscape of the market research industry. People were transitioning from offline to online research. But in India, it wasn't much. People were still towards the offline research out there. Even in international markets, still offline and online go hand in hand. Many people are comfortable with offline research. Many people are comfortable with online research. There was a gap in between that only few companies were doing online research out there. And that's where we saw an opportunity. Okay, let's enter into this market. Let's give the smaller companies, brand clients, an opportunity to explore the research. In today's startup boom, everybody is doing that research in terms of their competition, in terms of analysis, in terms of what's going on in the market out there. So that's where we saw the gap that yes, smaller companies deserve a chance to get a research done. That's where we'll come. The bigger MR agencies charge a boom because of their operational costs coming into picture. We, as a smaller company at that moment, we saw that, okay, our operational cost is not much, so we can do a competition in terms of cost, but equally provide the quality out there, because quality is again a much important factor, which is a debate till today's stage as well.
Yeah.
With the technology, with the AI coming into the picture, a lot of bot attacks coming out in the surveys. So technology playing an important role as well as being scary for the research world. That's where we are talking about syndicate data also, right? Synthetic
Yeah.
data.
Synthetic data.
So synthetic data out there. So there is a lot of challenges. This is where we saw the gap, we entered, and we tried to solve that. And I think we've done that very beautifully. And that's where we've completed 12 plus years now. Otherwise, it would have been very challenging for us to run this business.
Of course, of course. And you rightly mentioned that, things have changed in last past 12 years. So, starting in 2012, I guess, right?
Yes.
So, starting in 2012 and now it's 2024. What has changed for Robus?
Okay. So what has changed? We came a long way. 12 years is not a very short period of time. The best part is we're still bootstrapped. We never came across an investor. We never needed an external investment out there. So, touch wood, we were able to grow every year. We were able to make those profits come into the picture. We were able to build that team on to the company, and not just the team, the talented people who change, the faces coming in. Like I told, you're hiring them, you're bringing them into the company. So they are putting their innovativeness and creativity. So they gave ideas that, okay, and there were debates also. So we gave an open hand to all of our colleagues out there that, please, this is an open door policy that we have. Come in, explain your ideas, because we are entrepreneurs. We are somewhere creating those entrepreneurs as well out there. You know, I totally believe that knowledge sharing is the best part any company can do. I do not stop people in my company that, hey, do not go and talk to another department guys, or do not go and learn from them. I always tell them, go interact with each other, go learn what are they doing, learn what's happening. Because when you go on a client meeting, when you go to conferences, you need to be jack of all trades over there.
Yeah.
You somewhere need to know all of them. So
Yeah.
you start learning from now. If your base is correct, right, then you can conquer the world out there.
Exactly, exactly. And you rightly mentioned, I think this probably be answering my next question when you say, go and out and learn. What do you think exactly is the goal of anybody can start their entrepreneurship journey? What should be their goal first?
It's very simple, Ankesh. Every entrepreneur in today's world, right, or in past also, they had big dreams and ideas in their mind. There were multiple thoughts running. Okay, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. But ultimately, it comes to one single goal, that you need to have a clear vision and purpose. What are you doing? Why are you doing it? Who's going to get benefited out of it? What is the actual benefit that's going to come around the world? What changes are you going to make in the world out there? Money is, yes, that's one factor. We keep that aside. But other than money, there is a lot into the entrepreneurship out there. When you talk about the goal, like I mentioned, clear vision and purpose. Along with that comes a solid business plan. You need to make that plans, and set those realistic and achievable goals. Now, you cannot say, I'm going to make $1 million in a month's time. That's not at all realistic, and that's not achievable for a startup or, anybody over there. So you have to set those realistic and achievable. Your finances matter a lot. Uh, you look at Elon Musk, you look at Ratan Tata, all of them have a goal, have a vision. Now, if you talk about Elon Musk that I'm speaking about,
Mm.
the SpaceX, why is he building that? He has a vision, and he's been failing terribly in that. And millions and billions of dollars are going down that rocket over there. But he's still going on because he has that vision that, yes, someday I'm going to take people on a trip for the moon. That's his vision. And that's where he's going on building it. He's funding it. He's not giving it up out there. So you need to have your goal very clearly mentioned. You need to have those sets side. Like I told, for me, when I started robust research, it was tackling the MR industry change. So everybody, whoever is in different industry, will have their goal. That's where I see it around.
You did mention about a business plan. I'm sure, and then there's always an exit strategy. What
Right.
suggestion would you give in terms of business plan and exit strategy? A lot of organization are probably in the founders who are actually coming up as a startup, and they're very aspiring about starting something up. They probably be thinking of what business plan they can come up with and what exit strategy they can come up with. So, what is your suggestion in this case?
I think business plan you need to have, even when you're starting your business, even when you're starting over there, somewhere in your mind, you need to have that clear-cut roadmap to success. That business plan has to go this way. It cannot go this way. It cannot be a down curve. It always has to be an up curve. There is chances that the business might go down. That's part and parcel of the whole business and whole entrepreneurship. But your business plan roadmap to success, which defines your goals as your strategies and your potential roadblocks. Even your roadblocks needs to be defined very clearly. You can't be all la 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 that yeah, it's all positive side. You have to define your potential roadblocks. What if this happens? What if that happens? What's gonna happen next? You need to have your executives, your own selves into the place that yes, I'm into the game. It needs hours, I'm there. I'm going to put those hours in this. It needs strategies, I'm going to put in those strategies. It needs meeting up with people of any level, of any time, I'm going to be there. You have to drop your shyness.
Yeah.
You cannot keep your shyness out there and then become an entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is all about dropping your shyness, being shamefulness or shamelessness out there, and taking things forward. The most important part again in the business plan is knowing your competitors. What's there, what are they doing, what different are they doing, or when you're getting into the business, what different can you do into the business that they are not doing it. That's another gap you have to see, that how are you going to differentiate. So the main thing in the business plan comes, what the problem is, what are you trying to solve, what are your competitors solving, how better are you better than your competitors. Then comes in your with your strategic and marketing plan. How are you going to market yourselves? How are you going to reach out to those first customers? You need money, right, to sustain. So you need to have those first customers out there. And that's what is important. So the last part is again the finances, which I was talking about. How are you going to get your revenue? How are you going to get your projections? How are you going to even manage your expenses? Because okay, even in the initial few months or years, we were not taking any money back home because we are all putting it into the business. We're building the tech, we're building the technology, business roadmap out there. Only after few years, even after few years, we started something taking back as a salary back home. Till then, it was all a family support that's coming in, which is again, the mindset of entrepreneurship. It
Yeah.
has to be in a peaceful mind where your family is supporting, everybody is supporting. But I'll leave that aside. Coming back to the question of the business plan, all this putting in place, the goals, the strategies, roadblocks, your competition, the finances, that's where your business plan actually takes a shape and then you grow your curve up. Now coming to your other question was on the exit strategy. So let's tell our viewers what exactly is an exit strategy first, because it's as simple. It's a plan for any investor to come out of your business making profit. Any person who's putting money in your business or putting money in you is not gambling his money. He wants an ROI. He wants something profit out of it. He wants to make a return out there. So the business plan that I was talking about needs to have this exit strategy also if you're looking out for investors. Now, all the businesses do not have investors. Many businesses are bootstrapped and they're doing beautifully. Like I mentioned, Robust Research is bootstrapped and we're doing beautifully. We never felt like we needed an external investor. Same way, there are many other companies.
Mm.
But yes, for an aggregation, for going fast forward, an investor can drive your car very fast. It can drive you as a rocket out there. The main important question, why do an investor needs an exit? That's simple. He wants to make money out of it. You give him a good amount of return, 2x, 3x of whatever he puts in. Some people have even got 10x of their returns out there. So that's how you do it. How do they get those exits? Again, I see it in three ways. One is IPO, the public offerings out there. We have seen many companies now coming up with IPO, the Zomatos, the Mama Earth, all of these companies
Yeah.
have come up with IPO out there. That's where their investors are getting their returns. The most important, merger and acquisitions. In today's MR industry, a lot of merger and acquisitions are taking place. Why are they
Exactly.
taking place? One, towards the profit side of it, of course, that's playing a game, but another way is killing your competition. The merger and acquisition is, killing your competition out there, taking their clients as well and saying, hey, now you're under this umbrella of mine. And the third most is buyout by the management itself. Management itself, if they earn that much of money, they can buy out the investor and get the shares in return. So the business plan needs to have all of this, including the exit strategy.
Thank you so much. I mean, I think that's a great deal of thought process and any entrepreneur, any aspiring entrepreneur can actually think of. Because when you have the clarity of your mind where you wanted to head to, you know exactly, how you can plan things ahead. Thank you so much, Ankit, for your time on this. This was quite an insightful conversation, and I'm sure a lot of people would definitely be approaching you to understand. And I think you're already doing these kind of sessions with the newcomers and the Gen Zs of the world. And I've seen a couple of your posts as well where you talk about entrepreneurship by large. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Ankit Dhanuka from Robust Research. And if you want more time with him about how you can shape up your own career as an entrepreneur, feel free to reach out to him. His details will be in the video at the end of the video. You can find his details there. And this is Ankesh signing off from Collaborative Canvas. And I'll see you in the next video soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ankesh. And thank you, everybody, for seeing this. Once again, I'm available. Ankesh is available. Feel free to drop us a message.
Yeah. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Ankit.
Ankesh.
Take care. Bye.